Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3 of the Derby Career. And to start this episode, we've got the biggest derby in the world, and it is of course going to be Derby against Forest. We are currently set fourth in the table. It doesn't really matter though, this stage, of course, we're only 6 games in. If you're bottom of the table, you can still win the league. That's how fantastic this league is, of course. So, of course, we are going to set up the team very strong for the next game against Forest, as it is probably one of the biggest games, of course, in this career mode. So, of course, we won't be probably playing them when we do get promoted to the Premier League. I don't know though, because maybe Forest can get promoted as well, so that will be quite interesting, of course. So heading into the game, of course, we've got quite a strong lineup, and I think Forest have got a Somber and Fright up front. We'll see in a second, of course. Forest only 4 points behind us, of course, and they're like halfway down the table, so that's how tight it is at the moment. So yeah, performance-wise, I think we'll do quite well, as there's a few players in that Forest lineup, like Kane, who's only like 64 rated, and of course we've got very good wingers, so we should be able to do quite well in this game. So we head into the 32nd minute of the match here, and Lansbury hits the underside of the crossbar and it bounces on the line, so close to getting the game into a 1-0 lead. But we head into the 80th minute of the match here, a nice header from, I think it was Albin Tozer, but then we get the ball up to Keogh, and Keogh puts the ball through for Jamie Ward, who runs through on goal, eventually gets into a dangerous position, hits it at the near post, and of course makes it 1-0 in the game. A good goal for him, and he always seems to get a goal in the Derby Forest games. I remember he gets quite a few at the Forest Stadium anyway. I don't think he did score in the last one though, of course, because it was 2-1 in the end, which is a bit of a shame. We did lose against Forest, but on this game we managed to beat them 1-0, so not exactly the most thrilling scoreline, but as long as we get the 3 points, that's all that really matters from this game. And of course beating Forest is very nice, and in the rain I don't really do that well, so I was kind of lucky to win this game. So of course getting that 3 points is nice, and I think that moves us up to third in the table. And our next game is against Blackburn Rovers, who have actually got some good strikers like Rudiger Stead and of course Jordan Rhodes, so it's going to be a tough opposition, of course. So we're going to have to play a bit of a weaker side, because a lot of players that we did play in the previous game don't quite have the full fitness that we want, and I want to use some different players. I don't always want to use the same players, and yeah, mixing it up is always nice. So heading into the game, of course, it is in the clear, so that's quite nice. We head into the 33rd minute of the match here. Grant Hanley with the free kick, of course, I think it was from an offside or something, passes up to Jay Spearing, who is actually a decent player on this game. He's got some pretty good passing stats, and he would be a really good player for a League One team, but nevertheless, I think that's Joshua King, the really fast Norwegian, gets it into the box. Luke Varney, a former Derby player, hits it into the back of the net to make it 1-0 in the game. I think that is Luke Varney anyway, and yeah, there's a bit of an unfortunate way to start this game in the 35th minute, but nevertheless, we head into the second half here, and in the 69th minute of the match here, Omar Mascarell with a fantastic pass forward to Johnny Russell, gets it into Bent, gets it into Russell again, and then Russell, with his pace, gets through the defence and eventually puts it past the keeper. Kind of gets lucky, I think he hits the underside of the crossbar or something and makes it 1-1 in the game. A good goal for him, of course, because he isn't actually playing that much when you think about it. In previous Derby career modes, I'll be literally playing him every single game, but we seem to be mixing up quite a bit at the moment. But nevertheless, that is how the game does end, so a little bit of a shame we couldn't get the 3 points, but away from home against a team with very good players, of course, it is good to get a good result. So unfortunately Jordan Ives' loan did actually expire there. I thought it actually went up to the January window, but it seemed to be only like a 1 month thing. I'm not too sure why he would do a short term loan really, so a bit of a shame, of course, because I kind of did want to use him until January, but nevertheless, I don't know, if we do get a couple of injuries, this squad can be really stretched out, and maybe we'll have to change formation. So of course, for the time being, we're perfectly fine, of course, but if we do pick up a few injuries, it's going to be quite tight. So heading into the next game against Leeds United, who are currently just below us in the table, so it's going to be quite a tough game. And Antonucci here gets the ball into a dangerous area. Warnock, against his former club, of course, kind of just gives it straight back to him. Aidan White puts it across to Adrian, and then Adrian puts it into the bottom left-hand corner to make it 1-0 in the first 20 minutes. And then straight from kickoff, straight away, Adrian goes on the attack. Christie with a poor pass. Oh no, it was Bryson, or it was Thorne, sorry, with the poor pass, gets it straight back to Leeds. Running down this left-hand side, Christian Sinners, and then eventually gets it into the box with Taylor. Taylor gets it to Antonucci. Antonucci just turns around, I think that was Hughes or Albin Tozer, one or the other. So not exactly the best start to this game, of course, 2-0 down in the first like 25 minutes, but we head into the 45th minute of the match here, just before half-time. Will Hughes gets the ball forward to Jeff Hendrick. Jeff Hendrick gets it into Chris Martin. Chris Martin beautifully just gets himself into a dangerous area with his fantastic strength and puts it into the back of the net to make it 2-1. A good time to get back into this game with, of course, a goal just before half-time. And then we head into the straight from second half. A nice chip through ball from Warnock, gets it up to Jamie Ward. Jamie Ward heads it down for Chris Martin, then back to Jamie Ward, who's in bags of space, puts it into the back of the net to get us back into it in the 50th minute of the match. So yeah, really good 5 minutes from that 45th minute to the 50th minute, of course, getting us back into it. And then we head into the 65th minute of the match here. Ryan Shotton gets it forward to George Thorne. George Thorne again with a poor pass. Loses out possession, of course, and then eventually they do put the ball through for, I think it's Antonucci, who, yeah, because we brought Shotton out of position, he just had loads of space and made it 3-2 in the game. So not exactly the best of goal to concede there. But we head into the 87th minute of the match here. Getting the ball into the box as much as we can. Christie on this right hand side eventually gets into a crossing position and yeah, just whips in a beautiful ball. Ryan Shotton's there and makes it 3-3 in the game. So of course that game is going to end 3-3, a really nice celebration of course, and quite a vital point to be fair, because Leeds are just below us in the table. So of course quite a tough game. It is a bit of a shame we couldn't get the win, but we're only early on in the season, so it's not exactly going to affect us too much. So I don't know what you guys think, if we should actually take an international job or not. I was really tempted to take that Wales job. Of course, they've got Ramsey and Bale and a few other very good players like Williams and stuff. So, yeah, leave a comment down below on whether we should take an international job. If there is like a bigger one, I think I would be really tempted, like a Netherlands, a Spain or a Germany, or in England, of course. That would be absolutely fantastic. So, heading into our next game against Fulham, a team that we should be able to beat, but we are playing the 3 at the back formation in this game, just so we can get a few more players involved. Of course, I like to get all the squad involved in all the games. So, yeah, in my opinion, playing Forsyth in this left wing back position, it's probably best for him. But unfortunately, in the 26th minute of the match here, we do concede a goal. Rodiega it was so easy to break down this defence. That's the only thing playing the 3 at the back. It is kind of difficult to prevent sweaty goals. So, heading into the 35th minute of the match here, Thomas Ince trying to get a nice chip through ball through to Chris Martin, but unfortunately the ball does get taken off us. Gets forward to Ross McCormack, of course, who Derby were actually trying to get in the January window, so maybe in the future we can get him on this career mode. We'll have to see, of course. So, heading into the 36th minute, again, sweaties across, makes it 2-0. Rodiega 2 goals on the score sheet already, and I realised that the 5 at the back in this game wasn't quite working, so I thought I'd change up the formation for the second half. Changed it to a diamond formation with the CDM and, of course, the 2 strikers, just so we can keep Martin and Bent out of the pitch at the same time, because that's what I kind of want to do. I kind of want to give that combination a go and see if it will work. So, yeah, just changing up the side, just seeing who can play where and stuff like that. So, I think we ended up just playing Thomas Ince in centre mid and Lingard at cam. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Of course, we got Shotton at right back, who can do a perfectly fine job there. And, yeah, we just put Johnny Russell up front, I think, just so we got a bit more pace, because that Fulham defence isn't exactly the most pacey. So, heading into the 77th minute of the match here, it did take us quite a while to get back into this game, but we do it here in the 78th minute. A nice chip through ball for Johnny Russell, eventually picks up the ball on the edge of the area, cuts in with a nice shot and makes it 2-1. A good way to get back into it with 10 minutes left of the game. Can we get a vital point against Fulham, of course? And that is what we do. In the 90th minute of the match, Alvin Tozer picks up the ball, hits it down this left hand side. Keogh again, I think we're playing all out attack, puts the ball through for Darren Bent, who's, I think he's got about 80 sprint speed, so that's actually quite decent for a 31-year-old. And then eventually just sways it across, makes it 2-2, and Johnny Russell just being a fantastic tactical substitution, getting a couple of goals for us, of course. And yeah, important point, of course, against Fulham. We probably should have done a bit better, maybe got the win, but still getting a point is quite nice. So, just changes the side for the next game against Blackpool. I think we'll give a few weaker players, because I think they are at the bottom of the table, so we're giving Zelalem and a few others a game. And we head into the 27th minute of the match here. Darren Bent trying to get into a dangerous area with a roulette, but unfortunately loses out the ball, but we do quickly win it back with Zelalem. Gets it into the middle of the pitch where Hughes is waiting, gets the ball through to Jamie Ward with a fantastic pass, and Jamie Ward makes it 1-0 in the 29th minute of the match. A nice goal for him, of course, and he always seems to get a goal. That's one thing I do like about Jamie Ward. If you do put him on the pitch, he's more than likely going to get a goal, which is kind of nice. So, heading into the 36th minute of the match here, Zelalem again building up the attack, getting the ball forward to Darren Bent, who just literally walks his way around the defence, gets it through to Jamie Ward. Jamie Ward eventually gets into a dangerous area, hits it against the keeper, but the rebound does go straight to Darren Bent, who makes it 2-0 in the game. Of course, a nice lead for us in the first 30 minutes of the game. And then we head into the second half here, 51st minute. Steve Davis, a former Derby player, gets it inside to Perkins. Perkins eventually passes it back to Davis. Davis gets it to Delfonso. Delfonso gets a bit lucky. I think it goes straight back to him, and then eventually they just put it straight down the middle. Davis gets his former club, makes it 2-1, and it wasn't much of a celebration, but at the same time he kind of did celebrate. But we did get the 3 points, of course. We were playing a few weaker players, of course. Zelalem, who's only 64 rated, so yeah, it's always nice to give him a game time, but as long as we get the result, that is all that matters. So, heading into our final game of the episode, we have got Reading, of course. Is an interesting team, Reading. They have got Lukepingu, of course, a decent, strong striker. So, defensively, I think we'll do quite nicely because we've got Shotton who's playing, who's quite fast, and yeah, we have to break down their attack. So, heading into the 10th minute of the match here, we get a nice ball through for Thomas Ince to run through, finesse it around the keeper, and to make it 1-0 in the game. A good start for us, of course, and yeah, Thomas Ince has been a fantastic loan signing so far in this career mode, and I'm really tempted to get him at the end of the season when we do either stay in the Championship or get promoted to the Prem. We'll have to see, of course. I'm pretty confident we'll be able to get promoted to the Prem. A few things may be complicated if we don't get the top two and then lose out in the playoffs like last season, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do it. So, heading into the 17th minute of the match here, Hughes with a fantastic cut inside and a beautiful smash into the back of the net. I've never seen that kind of finishing from Will Hughes before, but he seemed to do it quite nicely there to make it 2-0 in the game. Heading into the 53rd minute of the match here, second half really, we brought on a few tactical subs and it kind of just shook us up a bit because Reading go on the attack here. Norwood getting the ball out wide to Williams. Williams eventually gets it through to Yakuba. I think we were playing two strikers up front at this point, and Pogrebniak does make it 2-1 in the game there to kind of get him back into it with about 35 minutes left in the game. But we head into the 57th minute pretty much straight from kick-off. Anton Ferdinand trying to bring the ball forwards, but Zellenem does dispossess him, and then there's just a massive gap in that defence. So we just run straight through. We could have potentially had a shot, but we passed it across to Johnny Russell, who puts it into the back of the net to get us back into a comfortable lead there in the 58th minute. A nice goal for him again. And then we head into the 75th minute, go on the attack with Reading. I think they were trying to build up quite nicely, but Warnock does dispossess him again, gets the ball to Hughes. Hughes with a fantastic through ball through to Thomas Ince. Kind of gets lucky, like goes past one and goes past two, but Ince gets the ball back and makes it 4-1. A good goal for him again, 2 goals in the game. And he's just been a really good player, like he always seems to get a goal as well as Jamie Ward. So yeah, at the moment I think this combination of Ward and Ince starting and then bringing on Johnny Russell is absolutely deadly. So that's absolutely fantastic that we have found a really good combination. To end off this episode, we're just going to show off the scat report, just show there's not really much of a change. There's a few 1s and 2s, but mainly everyone's pretty much the same. So if you enjoyed this episode, it would be fantastic if we could get over 25 likes. Subscribe if you're on the channel, and see you soon. Bye.